Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I'm super excited to announce the release of my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. If you're ready to alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level in 2021, head over to goldenkey.gift to download the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Welcome one and all. I am so grateful that you have joined me today. Today, I thought I would touch on our intuition. I know I talk about this a lot, and I think it's a very important topic. I think it's probably one of the most important topics that we could talk about. And it comes up so often for me because I work with people and their intuition every week. And so what I see very often is the blockages that we put in our own way that make us think that we are blocked or have a block in terms of our intuition. And so I want to talk about these supposed blocks because they feel like a block, but it's not a block that is not self-imposed. And so that's why I kind of want to put it in quotes, because it's not something that has been placed upon you. It is something that you are doing to yourself. It's something that we do to ourselves. It is something that we all do. And some of us do it to ourselves more than others. And the reason for that is oftentimes fear. It's always fear associated for one reason or another. There's so many reasons associated with it. One of the biggest reasons I see is stubbornness. Straight up stubbornness. I think as humans, we're all very stubborn. But when it comes to our intuition and being able to trust ourselves and listen to ourselves, when we get stubborn in this way, that's a huge block, right? But it's something that we're doing to ourselves. It is not that our intuition is blocked or that they aren't communicating with us, right? They're always communicating. It's just either we're not listening or we're not trusting, we're not accepting. Whatever it is, it's something that we are self-imposing, and we don't have to. We can learn to trust, to practice every day on these little things. Take it step by step. Trust all of the little inclinations that come into your mind. Because here's where we get confused. So often I hear this from people, but I feel like I'm just making it all up. Like it's just my imagination. Well, it does feel like that because all of this comes from your one brain. You have one brain. It has two sides to it, but it is one brain. And so oftentimes we have a hard time discerning the different sides and voices and places where our messages are coming from. But if we take a moment and we pay attention to the subtleties behind actually like the location and how it sounds, we will start to notice a very big, big difference. Because here's the thing. So we have, and just to make it simple, left brain, right brain. And not everyone's brain is exactly this way. Maybe some people are opposite, and that's okay, right? But Just to make it simple, we have left brain, right brain. And the left brain part of us is that analytical side, that conscious mind side. It's that side that's very 3D and stuck in this material world, very programmed into this material world. And it's also what I like to refer to as the devil on our shoulder. And then we have the right side of our brain. And that's the part that is creative and intuitive and imaginative. And that's the side where, because it's intuitive, creative, imaginative, all of our subtle voices from our higher self come from. And the reason why it feels like imagination is because imagination comes from the same exact place, right? So it's confusing. It literally comes from the same place in your brain. So I want to say kudos to you for understanding first the subtlety of this comes from the same place. And so it feels the same. So beautiful. You understood that feeling, right, of where that is. And now take it another step further and say, all right, so these both come from the same place. Maybe I can just trust this imagination. I can trust this intuition. I can trust myself to know that this little voice inside never, ever, ever lies to me and never steers me wrong. The only person who steers me wrong is myself because I don't listen to it, right? How many times do you kick yourself because you didn't listen to yourself? That happens so often in our human existence. And beautiful, because that is how we learn to listen to our intuition. We learn the hard way. Lovely humans we are. But that's how we learn. And so if we can just recognize these subtleties of where these things come from in our brain. So let's do a little exercise right now and see if you can recognize the subtlety. So I want you to imagine in your mind's eye, and I want you to visualize this with as much like color and detail as you possibly can. And I want you to think of a cartoonish green frog, and he's a big frog, and he has yellow spots, and he's sitting on this beautiful pond on a lily pad. And he is just chirping away with his big old throat going. And he also has a beautiful, shiny, golden crown on his head. So can you see him? And now I also want you to now pay attention to where this comes from in your brain. I want you to think of one of your favorite childhood memories. And it could be absolutely anything, like graduations or parties or friends, whatever it may be. One of your favorite childhood memories. Remember that for a minute. Where did that come from in your brain? Did both of those things feel like they came from the same place? They should have, right? Now, what's 12 plus 14? What is the name of your grade school? Where did you grow up? Where did that come from in your brain? Now, you should have noticed a difference there. With those facts and figures, they come on the left. They're very material, and they are our analytical side. And so when you can practice paying attention to these different things and where it comes from in your brain, then it can help you to trust it a little bit more. Because this right side does not ever lie to you. The left side likes to do it all the time. And that's the fun part about being a human and playing this game of life, because we get to look at both of these sides and make a choice and decide. We choose all of it. And it gets easier once we realize that that's what we're doing, right? And we don't need to be so stubborn. Our stubbornness is just holding us back. Every time we are holding ourselves back because of an illusionary fear. These fears that we have are not real. Oftentimes they're created all in our head. We stew in our brains and we create these scenarios and we think it's going to go this way because of a certain thing, because it's happened this way before, or we're afraid to go down a certain path because when I've done this before, I've made the wrong decisions and I don't know how to trust myself and I'm afraid to go down this path. And so we get stuck and caught up in that stubbornness. that stubbornness of protecting ourselves from being hurt, that's a really big one. Especially, this is a really big one, you guys. Okay, so many of you listening, and many of us that have come here to the planet at this time have done this before. We've all done this before, right? We all exist on a multi-dimensional level, all right now, all existing now. But some of us in this time continuum have gained seniority of vibration, let's call it, and have decided to come back as volunteers to help this dimensional reality at this time. And oftentimes we do that, and some of us haven't been here before, and some of us have. And some of us, for the ones that haven't been here, it's really hard. But you take on all of these lessons that you think you can handle, because from that perspective on the other side, it feels like it's going to be so easy. And so it's like you just pile up on all of these lessons and you get here and life is just hard and it's traumatizing. And you wind up closing yourself off because you don't want to be hurt anymore. And understandable, right? Of course. Who else is going to protect you but you, right? Especially depending on how traumatizing these different experiences have been. But also when this happens, many times what I see in people is that they'll tend to want to avoid, to run away, to not want to look at it. And so what happens there is that there's this wound that just stays and festers. And when you have a wound, and it really, think about cleaning that out. It sucks. It hurts. You don't want to do it. But if you just go through that pain of cleaning it out and getting all the junk out and putting a nice bandage over it so it can heal, right? Then it heals when you get out all the gook. But if you don't take care of it and you want it and you ignore it, it just festers and then it spreads. It spreads to the other areas of the body. And this is the same emotionally, physically, spiritually. We are a mind, body, spirit complex, and there is nothing that happens to us emotionally that doesn't affect our physicality and our spirit. And so it's so important that we take down these walls of stubbornness and realize that is what is actually hurting us. This continual protection that we place upon ourselves, upon our hearts, that doesn't allow us to go inward, really, to really see ourselves and to see others deeply. All that does is hurt us in the end. And if you keep doing that over time, the stubbornness just gets worse and worse. As you age, you get more and more stubborn if you don't want to look at it and you don't want to go inside. And so the beauty of the energy of this time is that it's like forcing us to do this. It's forcing us to go inside. It is imperative that we realize that there is absolutely nothing to fear, that we can trust ourselves, and that we don't need to be stubborn and build up these walls of protection because there is nobody that can hurt us but ourselves. We allow all of it. If somebody wants to come into our life and do something horrendous and awful to us, it is the way that we take it, the way we perceive it, the way we handle it, the way we carry it forward that matters. And so very often we want to blame the other people, the person that hurt us. And we think to ourselves, why is this happening to me? Why does this kind of thing always happen to me? But the minute that we can stop and go inside and say, why is this happening for me? What can I learn from this? And if your answer to what have I learned is I don't know, you need to take more time. Because I don't know is not the right answer. You do know. You absolutely do know. The I don't know is you refusing to look at it. Or when it's super emotionally charged, that's when the conscious mind comes in super, super strong and it's really hard to kind of make sense of it. And so be patient with yourself on that. But what you can do is realize that you have absolute 100% control of how you feel. You have zero control about over other people and the way they treat you and how they respond to you. But you have 100% control over how you respond, the way you behave and the way you perceive things. And if you can add in a little forgiveness into every single situation, that is a game changer. Forgive every single person who has hurt you and has made you put up walls and has made you be stubborn and protect yourself, because they were teaching you how so incredibly strong you are. Because through all of that, through all of you've been through, look where you are now. You are A-okay. You've handled it. And you have learned. What you've learned is for you to figure out. But you know it has been for your growth, 100%, hopefully. In the end, that is the conclusion that you will come to. And it gets easier when you can just take those moments of quiet solitude in meditation and just quiet and breathe and ask. You know, all we need to do is ask. If we ask these simple questions to our higher selves, to our higher guidance, to God, source, creator, however you resonate with it, right? You got to ask. If you don't ask, the answers are a lot harder to get, right? So if you ask the specific question, you will get the answers. And then it is a matter of you listening to it and trusting it and practicing that over and over and over again. There's little ways to ask, like right before going to bed, or writing it down and asking right before going to bed, and then paying attention to your dreams and writing those dreams down before you even get out of bed or even fully open your eyes. Maybe you can sound record it on your phone or something. But when you ask these questions, you will get your answers in one way, shape, or form. Because one thing I can absolutely promise is that, and I know this 100% sure, and there's not many things that I do know 100% for sure, but this is one of them, that our higher self is always there for us, always working for us and with us, and always trying to help us. They tell me this all the time when I talk to them, that we're always here. We're always telling her she's just not listening, or he's just not listening. She's being so stubborn, right? Like, I get this from higher selves all the time, and they just want us to let it go. Just let it go, because you are safe in the knowing that you are safe. It is all about your perception and your belief. If you know you are safe, you are safe. And if you know you have the answer, then you do. You know you already have all of the answers. Every person is always told this too. You already know this. I hear this so often. You already know this. You already know this. You do. You're just allowing your conscious mind to win. You're allowing that devil side of you to negate what you actually know and to question it and think you're making it up or imagining things, or that couldn't be right, and I just this and that and the other, and you completely analyze it and think your way out of it. But if you could just trust, just practice trusting that you already know, and ask yourself the questions, ask your higher guidance these questions, and trust the answer. And if you just want to start simple with like a little pendulum, yes and no, or a little meter in your mind that goes one way or the other to do a yes and no question and trust it, just practice little ways. Maybe you want to pull tarot cards and just feel for whichever card is lighting up, or however you want to do it. Practice little ways of just trusting. And don't start with the big things that are emotionally connected, because that will make it harder. Start with easy, simple things. And you will learn to trust yourself more and not be so stubborn and not be so afraid. There is nothing to fear but fear itself. We already know this. We just need to practice it a little bit more. We do know all these things. We just need the reminders. And so that's the reminder for today. Every single one of you is intuitive. There is no block but your own self-imposed one of stubbornness and not wanting to listen. And that's all right, because now you know. So you don't have to do it anymore. You're all intuitive. You all have this gift. This is a birthright. Every single one of us has it. And the more we work with it, the stronger it gets. So I encourage you all to practice, 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 and remember more and more and more of who you are. Because the more you practice, the more you'll remember. I love you all so, so much. I'm out of here for today. I'm going to leave you with a song. This is Xavier Rudd, Messages. Until next time, I love you all.
Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.
So now come sit down, will you talk with me now, and let me see through your eyes where there is so much light. We are biding our time for these myths to unwind, for these changes we will confront. So please beware with every place that you head, and look to your soul for these things that you know. For the trees that we see cannot forever breathe with the changes they will confront. You know, some people, they just won't understand, or just won't understand these things. Thank you for your message, but I don't understand, or I just won't understand these things. In this sacred land, it has seen many hands. It has wealth and gold, yet it is fragile and old. And now the greedy souls just don't care to know of the changes it will confront. So speak out loud of the things you are proud. And if you love this coast, then keep it clean as it evolves. Cause the way that it shines may just dwindle with time, with the changes it will confront. So you know, some people, they just won't understand, or just won't understand these things. Thank you for your message, but I don't understand, or just won't understand these things. You know, some people, they just won't understand, or just won't understand these things. Thank you for your message, but I don't understand, or just won't understand these things. So hold nice and close once you get to your soul, so that when it is cold you won't feel so alone. Cause the roads that you take may just crack and break with the changes you will confront. And with each gift that you share, you may heal and repair. With each choice you make, you may help someone's day. Well, I know you are strong, may your journey be long. And now I wish you the best of luck. Well, I know you are strong, may your journey be long. And now I wish you the best of luck. You know, some people, they just won't understand, or just won't understand these things. Thank you for your message, but I don't understand, or just won't understand